I'm David, this is Joelle, and we've been in Half Moon Bay for 3 years now.
I have an office on Main Street, and the way I found Hawk design is that next door to my office on Main Street, there was a sign, just like there's a sign now in our property, and that's what drew me to call. I liked the sign. I thought the design of the sign itself was a very promising of the delivery. I was very sensitive to that. We had 3 architects, at least 3 architects look at this, and or contractor, and none of them seemed to understand the property and what we wanted to do. And instead of the 3rd time was the charm, the 4th was the charm, which was Jason. So he appeared on the property, and he got it right away. It's just like looking at this, he understood that the middle part here was not complete, it was not nice, and he's like, oh, you're trying to make it so that the whole compound is nice. And he got it, and we could tell his brain was clear, we could tell his energy, which is super important to us, was fantastic, positive. It was hired on the spot.
Yeah, and where all the other designers and architects saw problems, yeah, Jason saw solutions.
And it made so much sense, and then you could see the sliding door opening to the bamboo, and he saw that. And also we had this beam in the middle, in the back, and the flipping the design was allowing to incorporate the beam into the design rather than have a beam right there that was sort of like heavy and not very elegant.
Yeah, it's interesting because that beam, created a lot of problems, but it also ended up creating some nice opportunities. And yeah, so now we have a nice kind of cool entrance in the bathroom. Instead of looking like a beam going through, we lowered the ceiling in a certain area, and that gave us an opportunity to have an overhead shower that worked really nicely, and amazingly, that little bathroom is lovely now.
The art of turning problems into opportunities was what we experienced with the team in general, and Jason in particular. Yeah.
I mean, it looks like a fairly simple project, but in fact, there were many complications. One of which was that we continued to rent out the Airbnb when construction was going on. So the schedule had to be flexible in terms of our needs and the people in the Airbnb. And amazingly enough, during the whole process, electricity was never shut off. We had electricity at both our place and the Airbnb. The water was never shut off. We even kept the washer and dryer running during the process, which was kind of remarkable. It was very fast, and that piece is really important to know the city, to know what's anticipated by the city, and to be able to work well with the city inspectors.
Yeah, there was no delay ever. And it's like the job was over, the inspector was here, it was approved, bam, bam, bam. We never had to think about it and worry about it. Everybody in the team was super careful about leaving the day with a clean slate. So cleanliness is one thing, but the whole team, we were looking forward to have them come in every day. It's like everybody's so pleasant. Everybody is so kind. Everybody is so respectful.
It really felt like
family.
I think we developed friendships, which is really nice. Not just with Jason, but with all you guys.
Yeah. Most people don't talk about their contractor in the way we do.
That's absolutely
There's
true.
always like something.
Even me when I was a contractor.
There's nothing negative to say, only positive.
So we don't have a lot of tile. We don't have a lot of space to put the tile, but for some reason, well, I mean, these are big tiles and they are very fragile, and several of them broke. So we had to reorder, and they're supposed to be in. Oh yeah, they shipped them. Yeah, no problem. Didn't show up. weeks go by expecting these tiles. So meanwhile, Jason and Deborah are down in L.A., for some other reason, and the fires are happening, and Jason decides, well, the tiles are in Los Angeles. I'm going to go get them. So he drives to the tile place while the fires are raging, picks up our tiles. I mean, that's pretty cool. Then we find out while they're at dinner that not only did he pick up our tiles, but he had Michael drive down to Los Angeles
From Half Moon
from
Bay.
Half Moon Bay to pick up the tiles to bring them back here.
I like to say the story that it was such an accomplishment that when the tiles were in the room here and everybody opened, and the whole crew was here that day, and we opened it and we were like so scared that something was broken. So we opened them and everybody looked, and I like to say that everybody looked at it as if it was a newborn baby. Everybody was so relieved. And Mike was like so happy, but I mean, I never thought that he had driven just for us to get the tile, to get the damn job finished.
Basically, this project exceeded our expectations. Absolutely, by far. We thought it was going to be nice, but it's nicer than nice.
Yeah, it's elegant, it's well finished.
I was so concerned about the connection between the two spaces, and what we ended up doing, basically incorporating the roof line into the old house. It looks like it belongs here. It doesn't look like it's it's a kludged-on addition. It feels like this was planned, and it feels like it's one piece.
I feel like personally like we were supported from the beginning to the end. When there was a worry, I personally decided I am not worried because this guy knows. He might not know at the very moment, but he's going to figure out a way. So the weight of the process, the weight of everything, I never felt weighted down. I never felt like worried, depressed, scared, nothing.
It kind of epitomized by what you guys have all over your sweatshirts and your T-shirts, and whatever you do for the glory of God. First of all, Jason's overall attitude and personality. He's a very positive individual, and he knows what he does, knows what he's talking about. Doesn't try to pull anything over on you, is straightforward and honest. That's one thing. And all of you guys, everybody that we've come into contact with through Hawk, just delightful to work with, and
experience.
kind of have the same, positive energy that Jason has, which is great. From the guys doing the carpentry to the electricians to the plumbers, right down the line. Everybody was great. We didn't feel like, like something was more important than ours. We felt like, he was there. He paid as much attention to us as he did for, the multi-million-dollar projects that he was doing at the time, which is kind of amazing.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. That's really important. Yeah.
We're happy clients.
We're super happy clients.
And then, when we can,
we want everybody to.
Yeah, we recommend it.
All the neighbors know now.
So I think we've actually already recommended to 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.